I always do that. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire. I do. What is going on, bookworms? And welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump. I'm your host, Sean Bump Cote, the jackass of all trades, master of none. We'll run with that for right now. There's so many hats that I wear, but right now the only hat that I'm wearing is a Santa hat. I hope everybody is enjoying their second day of Hanukkah. Here we are on December 27th. It's a Friday, which means it's a back and by day, and I just got back from the gym not too long ago, and I decided that I'm going to crank out this podcast like I always do, but not in typical fashion. Actually, it will be typical fashion. I have topics I have pulled from Twitter. I got a good set of topics all lined up, and listen, nothing much more to get into than to get into it. We'll go over the last couple weeks. We've talked about a couple things. We talked about the Haktua girl who's been sleeping ever since she went on Twitter Spaces. We'll talk about Luigi Mangione, who somehow, and this blows my mind actually, somehow this guy has a Hulu series already. I don't even think we buried the United Healthcare CEO, and Luigi has a full-blown Hulu documentary series called The Manhunt. I haven't watched. I probably won't watch. I don't watch a lot of TV unless if it's sports or a movie. I'll sit down and watch a movie. There's not a lot of things that are getting me to grab the clicker these days, and Luigi is definitely not one of them. So, the martyr that never was, he's got a documentary out. The drones, we still have no idea what the drones are. There are many theories out there. Some say extraterrestrial. Some say another country looking for bombs. People are saying that they're scanning for nuclear weapons. Whatever it is, people know, and they're not letting us know, and that's kind of messed up. I'll be honest with you on that one. It's kind of messed up. Secrets are dumb. Let's start with that. Secrets are dumb. There are cases where secrets are necessary, right? If somebody is trusting in you and confiding in you with some type of valuable or sensitive information, right? Like your girlfriend tells you, "Hey, I'm on my period right now. Could you come to work and bring me a pair of pants?" Now, you could tell your friends, "Oh, my girl's on the rag. The old lady's on the rag." You know how people talk. I don't know why or how people got that verbiage, but nonetheless, "Oh, the old lady's on the rag." But you don't have to tell anybody what she did. Okay, that's a good secret to keep. Okay, but things like this, these are secrets that are just unnecessary secrets that are kind of poppycock. That's a term that I like to use. I'm sure other 80-year-old men love to use that term as well. It's been in my vocabulary for a while now. I don't know what geriatric Grampy I got that off of, but nonetheless, it's poppycock. Moving forward, we've got topics right now, and the number one topic that I'm looking at is something to look towards for next year. So here we are in this little purgatory of a week. Weird week it was. I'm not sure if I'm on the same planet as everybody else. It was a weird Christmas this year. I feel like Christmas on a Wednesday is not the best day to have it, but shout out to Jesus Christ for being born. That's what it's all about. Couple days off of work, had a weekend, had a Monday, had another weekend, had 2 Mondays in a row. That's what it pretty much felt like. And here I am on a Friday night, banging this out before I go back to work on Saturday. So it was nice to have 2 days off in a row for a change. I'll just hang my hat on that. Thank you, God, for sacrificing your only born son, who was born fully God and fully man. I think that's something that gets lost in translation, especially in the Western world. Wednesday was not a day. It keeps going to Saturday because it's like, a holiday. You got to think of it as the weekend. It's not. It is whatever day that it lands on. Like Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. Why? I don't know why Thanksgiving is on a thirsty Thursday if it's a day to eat. Anyway,
Christmas was on Wednesday. Jesus Christ was born on December 25th. There are conspiracies floating around all about whenever Emmanuel of Nazareth was born. It doesn't matter. Okay, what does matter is what we've been celebrating for the last 2,000 years, and that is the birth of the most influential man who ever walked this earth. Name somebody more influential, okay? One day, even though you got kids dressing up as Michael Jackson still, one day the fables of Michael Jackson will come and go. Jesus will always stay. So, I hope everybody had a beautiful Christmas, and I hope everybody's looking forward to their new year. Here we are on a Sunday, the start to the week, right? And this is what I want you to think about. I'm sure you've got a list of New Year's resolutions that you want to work on, that you want to, that you really want to stick to, that you want to make a part of your routine and be strict on, and that's great. New Year's resolutions are a great thing. I believe that they're useful. I believe that it's a good tactic for you to motivate yourself. I'm never going to poo-poo any sort of form of motivation. However, don't wait. If you have a New Year's resolution, I want you to hear this on Sunday, December 29th. I want you to hear this, and I want you to say, I'll start today. Get a head start on your New Year's resolution, and I'll tell you why. It's said that about 85% of people give up on their New Year's resolution, especially if it's a fitness goal. They give up by the second Saturday of January. Don't be a second Saturday Sally, okay? We're going to be an all-year deer because we're going after the Bucks. So start early and stick and be consistent with it, because consistency is key, man. I look at myself and I think about, wow, I'm going into my 6th year of running. And that's really where it all took off for me, right? Because when I started to run is when I started to get different types of little aches and pains, because I was really starting to use my body more, and that helped me dive into the gym a little bit deeper. That helped me dive into diet a little bit deeper than I was at that point. I started February of 2019 to get my act together and pull the pieces together and try and really become the best version of myself. And I have constantly been working at it for the last, what will be 6 years and 2 months. And it never ends. Let me just tell you that right now. It never, ever ends. So don't think that you're going to hit one goal and just be satisfied for the rest of your life. You're not. You're going to hit one goal, and if you have the right mindset, you're going to find the next goal to attack and go after. So, if that's what the rest of your life is going to be, and I promise you, I know sometimes that sounds daunting, but it's not. It's so fulfilling. It's so fun. It's an adventure. It's not an adventure every day, but maybe every other month. Whenever you sign up for a race, if you're into racing, or whenever you're weightlifting and you hit a new plateau or a new goal, these are the kinds of adventures that you have set up in front of you that are never going to go away if you don't. So if you just stay consistent and you stay on the right path, this is what your future holds. So you have a future of fulfillment. You have a future of inspiration and motivation, and people looking to you and asking you for questions. What should I do here? What should I do there? What should I do everywhere? Under here, under there, underwear. I may just say, whatever. Just stay consistent and don't give up on yourself. You're not going to see changes the first day, the first week, maybe not even the first month, but I guarantee you, if you stay consistent and do what's on your schedule and stay strict, not too strict, but you stay disciplined, you indulge when it's time to indulge, and you stay measured when it's time to stay measured. In 1 year, you will see the results. And next year, your New Year resolution will be completely different. So please, that's what my New Year's resolution is this year, is to urge each and every one of you to not give up on yourself, your goals, and what you got going for you. Because if you stick with it, you'll get anything you want. Which leads us to the first thread of the day. I titled it "Get Jacked This Year." There's an interesting little thread here from Coach Kev. I think we've talked about him before. He's a belly fat pro. Not sure what that means. I kind of want to discredit this guy right away, because there is really no one way to target any area on your body to lose fat in. Losing fat is an all-encompassing matter. It's not anything that you can go, there's no trick to it. It doesn't matter how many leg lifts you do. You can build all of the lower abdominal core muscles. If you have a body fat percentage where it doesn't matter what the number is, it doesn't matter anything. Your body will hold on to fat in areas where it's going to hold on to fat until you melt it away. So you have to just work hard, hit every targeted area of the body and stay consistent and just, be measured and wait. And it's all about waiting and working and waiting, waiting and working and waiting, and doing the right things. So this Belly Fat Pro liar, if I had to start from zero and my goal was to get as jacked as possible in 2025, this is everything I'd do. Number 1, creatine. We talked about that last week. You should take it. Your friends should take it. Your parents should take it. It's great for strength, building muscle, and cognition, which is brain function. 5 grams a day, forever. I love that. I love this. This is great. Number 2 is don't post pictures of yourself going to the gym on social media. In the beginning, people may cheer you on. When they stop, you'll lose motivation and quit. Do this for yourself and show up as a new person out of nowhere. Bingo. When you're changing your life, when you're making moves, you're not doing it for validation. You're doing it for yourself. So remember that when you're at the gym and you're waiting in between sets and you got both your arms resting on top of the barbell. Wow, I look so cool here. This would be a cool picture. Don't be that guy. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. Number 3, train to failure. Feeling the burn doesn't mean you'll build muscle if you've got reps left in the tank. Your sets should be performed within 0 to 1 reps of failure. I always say this to people when they ask me, how do I know what weight I should choose? I say the last rep in your set should be very, very difficult to do. Not impossible. I don't like completely training to failure. You set yourself up for some serious ailments if you do that. It is a great way to target blood flow to the muscle and break down that tissue as much as possible. However, it's important that you're going through the full range of motion in a way where you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? In a way that you're not causing yourself to become a liability to yourself. Number 4 is progressive overload. Your goal in the gym needs to be increase reps or weight. Push yourself. Push yourself. I agree. Number 5 is proper exercise selection. Machines and cables are often the best for building muscle. If you have excess, use them. The reason why they're the best for building the muscle is because it's going to keep you on track. The biggest thing when it comes to free weights is you're now bringing in outside extra muscle. Okay, you are using your stabilizing muscles. Every movement that we do with our body has a eccentric and concentric action where you're pushing the weight and pulling the weight all in one motion. However, there are stabilizing and active muscles when you're doing these things. So when you're doing free weights, you're really calling on your stabilizing muscles a lot. But when you're using something like a cable or a machine where everything's on a track, you are in line, on track. You have nowhere to go except for where it's telling you to go. And it is the best way to engage the working muscles. Number 6, understand the value of sleep. If you aren't getting enough sleep, you'll have more cravings. Absolutely. Be weaker in the gym, 100%. Build muscle slower and lose fat faster. This is proven. This is scientific. This is our metabolism. Our metabolism is much like the rest of our body. It's much like our brain. We need time to recover. And the best time to be at rest is while you're actually unconscious. You can kick your feet up for a couple of hours, but if you're not falling asleep, you're not winding all the way down. You're still spooling up. For instance, somebody like me who's a long distance runner. When I'm just chilling, I have about a 55 to 60 beats per minute resting heart rate. When I am asleep, my body winds all of the way down to 35 beats per minute. And for some people, that would mean they're dying. Fortunately for me, I'm not some people. I'm that guy, pal. Anyway, number 7 is alcohol. A true fat loss nightmare. Alcohol pauses your body's fat burning ability, wrecks your sleep, slows your recovery, increases cravings, worsens decision-making and willpower, and makes everything about losing weight 100 times more difficult. And it helps you bring home unfavorable women. It helps you end up in jail. It leads you to other drugs. It's really expensive out at the bar. There are a million reasons why I personally will poo-poo alcohol. Sick, dude. Sorry, Toby. There are a million reasons why I will poo-poo alcohol. Definitely 100% due to my my history with alcohol. I'm 7 years sober from drinking alcohol. Alcohol led me down a wicked and windy road. I can't really completely blame the booze. I can't really complain. I don't blame anything but myself in life. And this is something I've learned a lot over the last 4 or 5 months, is that, like, I am the person who takes none of the credit but all of the blame. That is just who I am. That's who I was built to be. Is it perfect? No, but I'd rather be that person than the person who's always pointing a finger somewhere else and playing the victim. But yeah, alcohol is I'm very grateful that I got sober before I got in the gym. That could have been a deterring factor. Who knows? Honestly, I don't know what could be a deterring factor at this point for me. This is just my lifestyle now. And if you stay consistent with your New Year's resolution, it will become a lifestyle for you as well. God bless. Number 8, have go-to meals. 3 to 4 options that you can make in 10 minutes or less that are beneficial to your goals. Having to think about what to eat often leads to poor decisions. It could also lead to you spending money, going out, ordering food somewhere, not knowing how much you're getting of what. For the first 3 or 4 months, like, wait until summer, man. Just if you're doing this New Year's resolution poppycock, wait until summer, until you go out and eat. Just don't do it. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to throw yourself off. You're going to worry so much about what it is you're putting in your body. The anxiety is not going to be worth it. Just wait until the summertime. For these next 4-5 months, grind. Okay, grind. Track your food. Get a scale. Weigh your food. Know what you're eating. Know how much you're eating, and understand what your portions are. That's going to help you when you go out. That's going to help you know, okay, it's time for me to ask for a to-go box or what. Having go-to meals is huge. There are meals that I eat every single day, not only because that's like my go-to move or my go-to meal that's going to help me hit all my macro goals, but it's also part of... Oh, I done did it now. It's also part of just... It's not just to hit the macros. It's also just because it's good to get into that routine. Number 9, have convenient, healthy snack options readily available, such as Greek yogurt, fruit, jerky, protein shakes, and not candy. 10, throw away all junk food in the house. It's for the kids is a poor excuse. If you shouldn't be eating it, neither should they. Bingo. Bingo. What more do I have to say, man? What more do I have to say? Listen. This is a hot take. I got friends with kids. They're not going to like hearing this from me. Stop feeding them that bullshit. I don't care if they're young and they'll burn it off. They could also burn off healthy food too. Can they burn off cell mutation? Can they burn off inflammation? All of these things that happen to us, yes, we feel negative effects of things much quicker with our older ages. Young kids, they don't feel it as much. However, they feel. They feel. I almost cursed again, and I'm really trying hard not to curse on this podcast. I'm trying really hard not to curse in general. It is a bad habit of mine. But anywho, yeah, I just don't agree with feeding kids whatever the hell. You know, fruit is so readily available. Give your kids fruit, man. They don't need fruit snacks. They don't need Oreos. Don't give them Oreos. Give them oatmeal. And you're like, whoa, Oreos to oatmeal. What are you comparing the two? Well, if you want them to have a carb-heavy snack, give them something that's actually beneficial and useful. Don't just give them sugar cookies. All right. I saw this video a couple days ago. This guy taking a creme brulee torch to some Oreos, and nothing happened to the Oreos. That's not normal. That's not something that we should put in our body. What are the chemicals that are on that Oreo that's preventing it from burning into a crisp? And what are those chemicals doing to our kidneys and our livers when we metabolize them? You think that our bodies are just like a track, our throat, our throat to stomach is just one lubed up system, and all of a sudden it flies out the poop chute one day. That's not how it works, man. We digest everything that we eat, except for soluble fiber, like corn. Corn isn't digested. That just goes right through the track for whatever reason. Those chemicals that they're putting in the food, probably not the same. So I don't care how young your kids are, stop feeding them crap. Number 11 is steps. Make it a priority to get 10,000 steps per day. Make a game out of it and beat your total from the previous week. This is a great little tip, and I'm going to pull this up real quick because I've had this app on my phone for so many years. There's an app. Now, I typically say no free ads, no free ads, no free ads. And this is the only one you're getting out of me today. I hit 12,552 steps today. And that's not just me bragging. That's just me telling you what it is. You know what it is, though. And so I have this little, what is it? An app. It's called Sweatcoin. Okay. And it tracks your steps every single day. Okay. My steps last week, I took 110,075 steps last week. Since I've got this app in September 30th, 2019, I've taken 25,087,958 steps. I'm a big stepper. That's so crazy. Wow. That's crazy. 25 million steps. 25 million steps is wild. So let's say if each step that I take is, what would you think a stride would be? 2 feet, maybe 3 feet? We'll call it 3 feet. Okay, 25 million steps divided by 3 means in the last 5 years, I've walked 8,333,333 feet. That is crazy. So we'll divide that by 5,280. And in the last 5 years, I have traveled with my feet 1,578 miles. And to be honest, that doesn't seem like a lot. That does not seem like a lot. Especially with like how much I run. Probably run about 20 miles a week right now. So do that 4 times, that's 80 miles a month. All right, I guess that makes sense then. All right. Keep your sweats. We'll continue forward. The steps was 11. Number 12 is get an under the desk treadmill. Walk for the first couple hours of your workday, and you'll hit 15,000 steps effortlessly. It's a great idea if you work at a desk. It's not a great idea to be sedentary for 8 hours a day. People might look at you like you're crazy. The funny thing is that they're crazy for not doing it. Number 13 is have a structured workout plan. This will cut your workout time in half. Alternating push, pull, and legs is the simplest way to get started, and it absolutely is. Your push movements, your pull movements, your leg movements, it's all gravy, baby. So if you don't know what a push, pull, leg split is, please get in contact with me. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to help anybody who's listening out with any questions that they have pertaining to their New Year's resolution. If it's related to fitness, I am 100% available to help out with whatever it is you have questions on. So please reach out, leave a comment, whatever it is. Number 14 is keep your sets between 6 and 15 reps. Number 15. Okay, I'll dive into that a little bit. 15 reps, 15 to 12. If you're working inside of that rep range, you're working on muscular endurance. That's how much your body is going to be able to perform an action over and over and over again repeatedly. Okay? Now, if you go 6 to 8, you're looking at peak strength. And if you go 8 to 12, you're looking at something called hypertrophy, which is the peak range to be in to build muscle. It's a good little middle balance there. With your 6 to 8 reps, you can really bang out more weight, which is going to help you get stronger. You could use a moderate weight with the 8 to 12 reps, which is going to help you build muscle. Focusing on form and routine and time under tension. So, number 15 is if you're serious about your fitness goals, you need to prioritize protein. I've been saying this for years. 1 gram per pound of body weight. This will help you maintain muscle in a deficit, keep you full, and minimize cravings. Number 16, use a TDEE calculator to estimate your daily burn. If you want to lose fat, eat 500 fewer calories than that number each day. And I wouldn't suggest going any lower than that, because then you will start to have cravings. If you eat less than 1,000, if you eat 1,000 calories less than what your daily expenditure calls for, you will end up going into a prioritizing of the saving mode, and you don't want to save anything here. The goal is to shred, and so that's to be right on the edge. It's okay to lose a pound a week. There are 52 weeks in a year. How many of you need to lose 52 pounds? Not a lot. Number 17 is if your goal is to prioritize muscle growth, eat 300 to 400 more calories than TDE number each day. So if you're trying to get bigger, that's a great way to structure yourself there. Number 18, most of your calories should come from beef, chicken, salmon, shrimp, Greek yogurt, whole potatoes, whey, rice, fruit, veggies, turkey, and eggs. Yeah, I have nothing to add there. That's all clean food. Number 19 is weigh yourself daily. Compare the averages from week to week. Weighing weekly can be misleading. Oh my God, we forgot the weekly weigh-in the last couple of weeks. Well, this week, I weighed in today. I was 205 pounds. I'm not surprised. I ate like crap for Christmas. I've been eating candy. I've been eating all types of nasty stuff, and now it's out of the house, so I don't really have any more excuses. It's time to just lock in, and I'm locking in right now. Well, I started locking in yesterday, to be honest with you, Thursday. So here we are the day after Christmas. It's time to jump into the new year. Anyway, weigh yourself daily and compare the averages from week to week. Because if you go week to week, just weighing on one day, it could be a day where you have less activity. It could be a day where you have more food. And also, don't be perturbed by the number. Always look at yourself and give yourself a good eye test first. 20. An elite sleep routine includes a pitch black room, consistent bedtimes and wake-up times, no food 2 hours before bed, no blue light 2 hours before bed, sunlight upon waking, and magnesium. I wish I could get sunlight when I wake up, but I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so unfortunately that's not the case. But a pitch black room is an easy thing to come in contact with. All it takes is turning off the TV, man. We're adults. You don't need a nightlight like that. Turn off the TV. If you need something in the background, turn on a podcast and flip your phone over. Just being in front of the light like that is not good for us. It keeps us up, and it also prevents us from getting into REM sleep, deep sleep. And that's not good. I mean, what type of scientific advice is that? That's not good. Shut up, Sean. Anyway, moving on. Number 21, you have 2 options for breakfast. 1, skip it and go on a little bit of a fast there. Or 2, get a minimum of 50 grams of protein. You should start your day with an extremely satisfying meal. Protein is the most satisfying macro there is. Number 22, skip the coffee milkshakes. Drink it black or add a small amount of milk or creamer. Otherwise, these things are killing you. Now notice what he says there. Skip the coffee milkshakes. Because a lot of times that's what these things taste like. Remember the first frappe I ever had? It was like having a milkshake. It's bullshit. Good save. I forgot what it was. Like the pumpkin spice coffee from Dunkin' Donuts has about 48 grams of sugar in it. That's not coffee, man. That's syrup. 23, work out first thing in the morning. This is proven to lead to healthier decision making for the remainder of the day. It's great to work out fasted. It's great to lift weights fasted. It's great to run and do cardio fasted. Fasting before you work out is a great way to really make sure that you're attacking, using up your glycogen pools if you're lifting weight, and then moving into a fat burning state, or just burning fat if you're doing cardio. However, it's not possible for everybody to do that. And my word of advice and what I've been doing, what's led me to so much success, leading thyroid doctors to come up to me in the gym and say, "Man, you look so lean. What are you doing?" The only thing that I'm doing is I'm having my lunch at 12:30, and then I'm lifting my weights at 3 o'clock. I'm giving myself 2.5 hours to 3 hours in between a meal and in between a meal and a lift to allow my insulin levels to drop back down, so I'm not just using food. I'm using resources from inside of my body. 24. More important than anything on this list is have some belief in yourself. There are people with less money, less time, and more excuses than you who are still making this happen. Commit to this for the rest of your life. It's possible and you know it. Happy New Year. What a thread. Oh, yeah. Coach Kev, the belly fat loser, he really turned it around. I thought this guy was just going to start spewing out mumbo jumbo about how you need to do more planking and less thanking. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Nonetheless, man, Coach Kev had a killer thread there. Everything that he said is spot on. And everything that he said, I'm not even kidding you, are all things that I've been able to use in my own life. These are all very, very achievable and obtainable things. You just really, really have to dial it in and have some belief in yourself. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing I want you to focus on when you move towards your New Year's resolution is have some belief in yourself, because you're going to have the doubters. You're going to have the days where you don't want to go. But let me just say this. Every day that I went to the gym that I didn't want to go before I went, I thanked myself more than I ever have for just going and getting through it.
Here we go! Buck, here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Yeah, here we go!
Yeah, here we go. So you get up and go through it, and here we are going through the NFL season. It seems like it was just yesterday. I was excited about football starting again, and here we are in week 17. We have one more regular season week this year in this season, and it's already almost halfway over. We had 3 games already this week. We had 2 games on Christmas. They ended in blowouts, but they weren't necessarily that to begin with. Kansas City and Pittsburgh had a tight first half. The second half was just all Kansas City. Kansas City takes the win 29-10. In that win, they clinched the top spot in the AFC. Not only do they clinch the top spot in the AFC, they clinch the AFC West. They get to the first round bye. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes get cool Netflix jackets. Andy Reid comes out dressed up as Santa Claus. They got the week off. So Kansas City, congratulations on somehow making it through this season and to this point at 14-1. Or no, they're 15-1. They have to be 15-1. That is crazy. And in this year, all season, it's like, what is the knock on Kansas City? Well, they're not playing up to par. How's this for par? Patrick Mahomes, 320 passing yards. Travis Kelce, 84 receiving yards and a touchdown on Christmas. The Kansas City defense holding Najee Harris to 74 yards rushing, picking off Russell Wilson, holding Pittsburgh Steelers to 10 points in Pittsburgh, and also scoring 29. They still haven't scored 30 points yet this season, is what all the talking heads are talking about, but I don't care about that. What I care about is winning, and that's what they do. And they have had so many one-possession wins this season that it seems like they're just a team of destiny. And so here they go. They will more than likely be facing Baltimore when it comes to an AFC championship or a divisional round. I'm not sure where they're slated to go to when I finish talking about the the games that happened already, we'll look at that playoff picture. But Baltimore went down to Houston and just completely blew them out. It's pretty much a shutout. If it wasn't for Houston getting a very, very questionable safety on Derrick Henry, and I say questionable because Derrick Henry was about 2 yards out of the end zone when he first got hit. So I'm not sure how forward progress isn't marked there. Nonetheless, Derrick Henry went for 147 yards, and Baltimore ran away with it, 31-2. Houston's only points were 2. They still hold on to a playoff spot here, but C.J. Stroud throwing for 185 yards in that game was not the performance that we needed out of the boy. And then last night, and it's so funny that we had teams perform like this on Wednesday on a short schedule, and then I'm talking about Thursday Night Football being terrible. But this game is just, if you want any more reason to stop Thursday Night Football, look no further than the last Thursday Night Football. This is the last Thursday Night Football game of the 2024 season. The first one was the first game of the year, right? So you had Kansas City welcoming in the Ravens for a repeat of the AFC Championship. And, what do you know? The Ravens don't win. The Kansas City Chiefs win. The Ravens lose on by one single toe. Isaiah Likely didn't get the toe down for that touchdown in the end of the game. And that was a thrilling game. But here you are, the last game of the season, it all petered out. And that's what the tail of the tape was for every Thursday night. Like, these games sucked this year. And that really, I hate to say that because football is the greatest sport in the world. It's the most fun sport to watch. College football is now taking over the spot of the NBA just because it's football and football is king. But you look at this game, what was the final score of the final Thursday night football game of the 2024 season? 6-3. And it was 6-3 at the half. And I didn't know that this was going to happen when I went to sleep last night. But when we entered the third quarter and nothing happened on that first drive, I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not going to finish this one. I'm not going to watch this one. And I'm really glad I didn't because what the hell is that? 6-3. You play for 60 minutes and score 9 points. It's the first time since the 70s that that's happened in the NFL. And it's pitiful. It is a disgusting display of football. It is not the product that the fans want to see. And I'm begging you once again, Roger Goodell, please, 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 for the love of God, just stop this Thursday night football nonsense. Let's get games going on Sunday. If Amazon wants that primetime spot, if Amazon wants football on their platform, give it to them on Sunday. There are so many games that there are so many games that get broadcasted over linear television that don't wind up in different places. Give them a package where you could just pull up sort of like a NFL ticket deal, right? Where you could pull up whatever game you want to watch. Give some of those exclusive games of bigger marketed teams, give those to Amazon. Because there are so many Sundays where I'm watching football, and here I go. I get to either pick the Giants or the Jets because New England isn't playing until 4:00 or whatever it is. But Philadelphia is playing the Commanders at 1:00. Why can't I watch that game? Put those games on Amazon. Give us some options on Sunday and stop putting these guys on the field on Thursday because they very clearly don't want to be here. You're talking about DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zach Charbonnet. You're talking about DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, all of these weapons across the field. You're going to tell me it's their fault they didn't put any points up? They're clearly not ready to be out there on Thursdays. I don't know where the disconnect is. It's been like this for a few years, and I'm sorry, Amazon, but your Thursday night football, it's not a failure on your part. I'll tell you that right now. 3 games that'll be done by the time you're listening to this are the Chargers heading up to New England to play the Patriots, and that's not a game that I'm looking very much forward to. I think the Chargers are a super physical team. They're not afraid to run the ball. They're not afraid to just pound and pound and pound. And then they have a generational talent in Justin Herbert who can just sling it all over the place. Justin Herbert Drake May might be the same person, though. I've never seen them two in a room together. One has a little bit more acne than the other, but all I'm saying is these guys look very similar. They do kind of play the same. Justin Herbert will tuck it. Not as often as Drake will, but I think the best thing to look for in this game is just what can Drake May do with this. The Chargers are 5.5-point favorites, which means that, honestly, could it be a close game? Could it be less than a touchdown? The only way that that's going to happen is if Harbaugh decides. Then you have a great game here, and there are playoff implications to this. Denver is heading to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. That'll be an exciting game to watch, with Cincinnati being 3.5-point favorites. And then Arizona is going into Los Angeles to play the Rams. The Rams need this. They are a touchdown favorite in this. But the Rams most definitely need this game. When it comes to the NFC West, they are 9-6. They're right ahead of the Seattle Seahawks, who are hot on their tail. So if we look at the playoff picture here, playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? We'll go first things. We'll talk about that. So teams that are eliminated, there are pretty much everybody. The Buccaneers, the Seahawks, the Commanders are all in contention still. The Packers and the Vikings both have clinched a playoff berth, which means that there's one more. There's one more playoff berth to be decided in the National Football Conference. So you have the Lions at the top clinching the berth. They have not clinched the number one spot. Same with the Eagles. They clinched the berth, but not the number one spot. The Falcons have not clinched their spot because the Buccaneers are lurking. The Buccaneers are lurking at 8-7. They could still win the division. The Falcons are also 8-7. So that kind of leaves some room for drama because I believe they play each other. If not this week, next week. Tampa Bay plays Carolina this week, which is a divisional matchup, which could help boost their standings. The Falcons play Washington. That's not really going to boost their standings, but a win is a win. And then no times are set for the games next week. However, you do have, where you at? Tampa Bay playing New Orleans, so another divisional game. And the Falcons playing Carolina, another divisional game. So both of these games that these teams have coming up are divisional matchups, which will determine who is going to get in here. Tampa Bay is 2-2 in the division, and the Falcons are 4-1. Theoretically speaking, they could tie here, both going 4. Actually, the Buccaneers could go 4-2. Meanwhile, the Falcons go 4-3. Which would drop them out of the spot. Actually, they have a tiebreaker over Tampa. So they would win based on the head-to-head win percentage. So Tampa Bay would have to absolutely win these next two games, and the Falcons would have to lose. Which I'm not rooting for that. But I do love to see a good... man, that's tough because you have the chance for Michael Penix Jr. to get in the playoffs here, but also Baker Mayfield. Yeah, you don't want to root against that guy. But as it stands right now, your top 4 seeds are the Lions, Eagles, Rams, and Falcons. The Rams are ahead with a 9-6 record. The Seahawks are there at 9-7. So there are a couple situations here that could lead to the Seahawks swooping in and taking the Rams. For instance, if the Cardinals win, that would be very bad for Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams because that opens up for the Seattle Seahawks. They'd both be 9-7 going into the last week of the season where, man, how cool would it be if they play each other for a chance into the playoffs? And they do. They do. I called it. So we have some serious drama lurking. Let's look at the AFC to see who's lurking. Eliminated. Number 1, New England Patriots. Yikes. There are some openings here for the rest of the season. So I don't know how this works. The Colts win the tiebreaker over Cincinnati and Miami based on the best win percentage in conference games. The Dolphins win the tiebreaker over Cincinnati based on the best win percentage in conference games. And then you have the Bengals, who are there at 10th. What a drop-off. 10th place, Cincinnati Bengals, 7-8. 11th place, 4-11 New York Jets. Wow. Sad story. Sad story. And it's crazy because you thought that this was Aaron Rodgers' year. He had the heartbreaking Achilles tendon injury last season, 4 plays into the season, and here we are with just the absolute dumpster fire of a Jets team. They are cursed. There's nothing really more that you could say about it. They are cursed. They need Peyton Manning to go up there with the Peyton's Places show and kind of do whatever they did with Papa Shango in in Detroit to flip the curse on them, because it wasn't until that happened that they turned things around and Motor City Dan Campbell had the boys humming, firing on all cylinders, might I say. So the AFC appears as if the number 1 seed is completely bought out right now by the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you have the Buffalo Bills, who have clinched the AFC East at 12-3. The Baltimore Ravens, who have clinched their playoff spot at 11-5. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have clinched a playoff spot at 10-6. The Ravens have not clinched the division yet. The Texans have clinched the division at 9-7. However, our wild card teams are the Los Angeles Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Denver Broncos. You have the Indianapolis Colts and the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals lurking. They are lurking. The Chargers have the tiebreaker over Denver, so they will remain a wild card team no matter what happens. Let's see. The Colts, somehow they have a chance. So I'm guessing if both the Chargers and the Broncos lose, it gives hope to the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Bengals, who are not eliminated from playoff contention yet. Let's go through the schedule, see what happens after Saturday's games. Denver and Cincinnati will be something. It will have... so this game is actually a game that looks good, right? Joe Burrow is on an absolute tear right now, and it's a shame that... It's really just a shame that his team's season did not pan out the way it should have been. He is the leading passer in the league, right behind, right in front of Geno Smith, actually. The top 5 this year are Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow, 4,229 yards. Geno Smith, 4,097. And Jared Goff right there with 4,095. And he still has a game to play this week, so he'll be surpassing that. Trey Hendrickson, still in the league for sacks. 13.5 sacks. Number 1 in the league right now on the Cincinnati defense. So they have stars. The number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. Guess who it is? I'll tell you. It's Jamar Chase with 1,510 yards. And these guys don't have... I mean, it's just sad. How does this happen? You have this much talent on both sides of the ball, and you just don't have it happening for you guys? I don't understand. He's got 39 passing touchdowns. He's tied for first. He's tied for first with passing touchdowns this year. And his team is scratching and clawing for a playoff spot. And I'll tell you one thing, mark my words right here. If the Cincinnati Bengals find a way to sneak themselves into the playoffs, they will be a problem. Because think about the chips that are stacked on their shoulder right now. Buffalo playing the Jets with nothing to play for at all except Josh Allen's MVP hopes. There's just a two-headed race right now. I mean, you can throw Saquon's name around as much as you want, but he's unfortunately not going to get it. He'll probably be the offensive player of the year. He definitely won't be the MVP. It's going to either be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, who are both having tremendous seasons right now. Josh Allen just been playing out of his mind. not only passing the ball, but running the ball as well. Having one of those seasons that, did you expect this? Like, do you expect Joe Burrow to be in the top 5? Yes, you do, because he's got weapons surrounding him. What did you expect out of Josh Allen this year? I mean, it's hard to say that you didn't expect the world of him. And it's hard to say that you also did. He lost Stephon Diggs. Who does he really have on that roster to help bolster the passing game? Now he's throwing to Mac Hollins and Khalil Shakir and Dawson Knox. And he's got a couple good tight ends out there. But still, you didn't expect him to come up with a 3,500-yard, 26 touchdowns, 6 interception season. 6 interceptions, that's the least he's thrown in his career to date. And then he's also rushed in. I lost the number. I just had it. By George, I've got it. What is it, 2024? Yeah, so another 11 touchdowns, so you can consider it 37 touchdowns he's accounted for. I mean, it's remarkable. It's tremendous. And he's clinched the division, and then you have Lamar Jackson, who hasn't quite clinched the division, but they're right there. You have a poop bowl at 1 p.m. between the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. Las Vegas is favored in this game. I think it's been jumping back and forth, though. Who cares? Indianapolis at New York. Indy's got to win this game. They have playoff hopes that are still remaining somehow, some way, but they need this game. Just like Philadelphia needs to win this game against Dallas. I get it. They're already clinched a playoff spot. However, this is just a big morale game. Jalen Hurts, is he going to play? We don't know yet. He got concussed in that. It wasn't the first drive, but it was the first half of last week's game. He gets up. He gives the ref a thumbs up. The ref sends him to the sideline, and they put him through concussion protocol, and he's still going through it right now. So pray for Jalen's brain. Tampa Bay in a game that they need against Carolina, which it's going to be tough because as of lately, Bryce Young has earned the nickname the Reaper. He has killed playoff hopes for team after team at this point in the season right now. So it'll be interesting to see if Bryce Young does it again to a divisional opponent. You have Baker Mayfield coming into town. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Who cares? Miami needs this win over Cleveland. A big game here is Green Bay and Minnesota. Okay, they're both in the playoffs right now, but this could be big for Green Bay's seeding if they do happen to win. Atlanta with a must-win at the Commanders, but the Commanders also need to win. They need this win bad because they're in the 7th spot. Okay, they're 10-5. Will they make it in the playoffs? That all hinges upon what they do in these next couple of weeks here. And then they have a divisional matchup next week. And Monday Night Football, they're saving the best for last, which is actually might not be the best because San Francisco hasn't been the team that they have. They haven't lived up to the hype. We'll say that. Detroit, in their ragtag bunch of fighters gnawing kneecaps, is heading to San Francisco to play on Monday Night Football, the last NFL game of the year, and the last of Week 17. And then next time you talk to me, it'll be next year, and it'll be the last week of the season, man. And here we are. We are coming down the stretch, and if the season were to end today, it's to be determined against 2D to be determined. That's lame, dude. Give me the expanded playoff picture or something. Playoffs? Give me the playoff picture here, man. So number 1 seed gets a bye, so that means that the Broncos would play the Bills, and the Ravens would play the Chargers, and the Texans would play the Steelers. That'd be a good game. So we have things to look forward to once the season ends. The Commanders would play the Eagles. Sick. That's really cool to have a divisional wild card matchup. The Rams would play the Packers. Another sick matchup, and the Vikings would play the Falcons. You have Kirk Cousins sitting on the bench for that game. I was just thinking about like a Kirk Cousins playoff revenge game. But if they make it in, Michael Penix is playing, so it won't necessarily be that. Nonetheless, football it has come to a screeching halt as far as Thursday night games go, but it is just getting started. Okay, don't be deterred by what you have seen lately. Continue to look forward. We have things to be grateful for, especially if you're a sports fan. There's so much football coming down the pipe. I didn't even tap into the NCAA playoff, which is just now kicking off. This week we have UConn is playing the University of North Carolina in the Fenway Bowl. Shout out to Bill Belichick. He won't be coaching that game, though. Anyway, man, I just wanted to take this moment to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for spending this. Thank you for spending these last 29 weeks or so with me and allowing me to spew some nonsense into your ears. I hope this week is the most important because I know we all have New Year's resolutions, and the only thing stopping you from achieving it is yourself. So just stay after it and stay consistent. And keep on coming back, because as always, it's all love. And God bless. Thank you for listening to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump.
I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.